Hello everybody, Reggie Tam here, and we are playing some 10NL and some 20NL on Sky Poker. I didn't really want to play 10NL, but I don't have long to make this video. I've only got an hour before I need to leave the house, so we are just playing what's available to us at the moment. Check call here with the 2 7s and the flush draw against someone who we have tagged as Recreational. He just bets pot a lot. I don't love this. In fact, I love it enough. Less than that. I don't like it, basically. I don't like it. It appears that Sky videos are starting to reinvigorate my channel in terms of views and likes, and I appreciate that. So please, if you do watch this and you watch more than a few minutes because you're enjoying it, hit the like button. I'd very much appreciate it. Share, subscribe, all of those things. Hit the little bell, and yeah, I won't beg you anymore. But I love the engagement. I love seeing people enjoying them and getting involved in the comments section. We're not going to see bet our bottom pair here in a multi-way pot. And depending on size, we're not going to call. This player is kind of fit or foldy, and King 8's very much close to the bottom of our cut-off open range, so therefore defending bottom pair doesn't feel great. King 10. Tapazuki is a Sky Poker legend. Pretty loose, pretty aggressive. Want to try and get involved in pots with the fellow, but probably not with the King 10 offsuit. So in this video, I'm going to try and explain how I tackle a lot of the spots that in the comments section, some of you guys have pointed out to me that they struggle. I mean, Phil, in the last, like the gentleman called Phil Hardy, replied to my last video saying that he's not into Sky at the moment, and we'll get back to that at the minute because we just flopped the nuts against this guy who loves betting pot. So we're going to check to him and see if he wants to just do his thing. He bets. I think we're going to check call and check decide on the turn, depending on what size he comes with. If he goes big, we'll probably call. If he goes small, we'll probably raise. He doesn't bet the turn, which tells me he either has nothing or he has something he's keen to protect. So I'm just going to go big and hope he's in the keen to protect range, and not keen to protect. Sorry, having a hand that he does likes but doesn't want to get raised on. Not keen to protect. That was a wrong way of describing that situation. So yeah, Phil Hardy commented on my last video saying that he struggles negotiating the Sky Streets, probably because there's tons of multi-way pots and there's so many. It's like stepping through a minefield, if you will. And there's so many landmines out there, so many multi-way pots, so many players play so many wide ranges. It can be difficult. It can be I'd rather just play where people play a little bit more of a standard way of playing. If we're going to keep checking to this guy again, our strategy is going to be check to this guy. So I kind of get it, but ultimately these games are where you're going to have your highest win rates, assuming that you play quite well in them. So I'm going to hopefully show in this video how I try and negotiate these spots, and hopefully it will be a help to some of you guys who just struggle to beat really soft games. Just calling here. We are checking back our aces on a flop that smashes our opponent's pre-flop calling range. Now he's checked twice and we've turned a set, which is going to bet really big and hope he's got something he can call with. If he folds, we're definitely calling this. We could be beat, but given what we've seen from this player so far, but our hand's way too strong to fold. And we are ahead and we stay ahead. I mean, we probably get full stacks in there, whether we bet or check call, but if my read is a certain player is particularly aggressive with wide ranges, then I'm just going to check an awful lot of hands to them and just let them do the thing. Ace 10 off, we're going to fold. We're going to c-bet the middle pair with some backdoors. On table 2, hope not to get raised, but There's a little bit of value to be had there. Certainly, a lot to be said for just having him fold 2 overcards if he's not going to bet with them. And my overall strategy in these games is pretty much, like try to avoid playing regulars where possible, and just play a pretty passive, very exploitable, value-orientated game. It's hands down the best way to beat these games, in my opinion. Obviously, other strategies work. You could play a much more theory-based strategy and still crush these games because lots of the players just aren't particularly well honed in their no-limit hold'em skills. So any reasonable strategy would beat these games. It's like what strategy is best, and in my opinion, playing a very value-orientated, exploitably passive game at good tables is hands down the easiest way to get the good win rate. But if we are playing against regulars, we will play differently. So how I'd like to describe it is for any of you familiar with the Doug Polk's post-lock game plan for Upswing, I use that strategy against the recreational players, and then against like more well-honed players, I will kind of use the same strategy, but rather than letting my hands decide whether or not I should be betting, I'm going to let my range decide. So if it's a good flop for my range, as it's C1 flop for my range, I will play it like a C1. If it's a C2 flop for my range, so like against the fishier players, my hand decides my category, and against the stronger players, my range decides which category I'm going to kind of treat my hand as, and it works really quite well. It's very simple to do once you are familiar with how your range wants to play certain boards. That should have been a larger raise than £1. So I think it works really well. I've been finding it working really well for me anyway. If you're not familiar with the category system, then it's not going to work for you at all because you don't know what it is. But if you are familiar with the category system, using your hand to decide how to proceed against weaker players and using your range how to decide against better players, to me, feels like it's a really good way to approach these games. And if I'm in the hand with a weaker player and a regular, I'll usually default to as if I'm playing against a weaker player, not the regular. We've been check raised here, which we're just going to call with, because if we are beat, we are completely crushed, and if we are not beat, we want to allow him to continue bluffing. Do we have a note on this player? C-bet drive flop, out of position, small, check raise turn. Not really useful for this situation. I mean, clearly there's still no folding yet. If he jams river, I'm going to fold, because check raise, bet turn, shove river is just so rarely a bluff, and we just don't beat very much at this point, especially given the flush got there. Would have been a much tougher spot had the flush not completed the turn. Here, against someone who's just like defended the small blind, the low card shouldn't hit him as hard as. Oh, I didn't realize we were heads up. I didn't realize we were multi-way, so that was a bad c-bet. I thought we were just heads up against Theo, and that board wasn't great for a small blind calling range. Well, theoretically anyway, like low cards shouldn't have too many of those. Whereas a big blind, it was a good flop for big blind. So had I been aware this guy was in the pot, I would not have c-bet there. So we definitely got away with one. Defend the 5-6 and just give up here. So as we get through the video, hopefully we'll identify spots where I will be saying, right, I'm c-betting this board here against this player because I'm using this part of my strategy, and I'll try and like explain both sides of the strategy and why I'm choosing which particular option as I go along. I've also been asked by Alton Harden of Microgrinder to make him some more content, so hopefully this video will be similar to the content that I would like to provide for him, and he can look at it, and if it's not what he wants, then he can just fucking fire me off. Big raise coming in here. We're going to make it big for 8x. 2 limps already. We have a very premium holding. Again, this player here just that does the a limp call thing for a very large sizing. And we do not like our hand much. We'd like it a little bit better now. He's got £6.50 left. We bet like 180 here. We can just comfortably shove river and have it not be an overbet. Yeah, that river. Don't like. Do not like that river for obvious reasons. And there's no block folding here. It's just, do we jam or do we just check fold? And I think I don't like jamming. And we win. What did he show up with there? I'll bring it back on. Well, I won't have to bring it. I'll just tell you what he had. He had ace 6. So he had a lower 2 pairs. I was 4xing earlier because there was no regs at the table. This mainspring is some kind of regular. So we're just going to default to 3xing, whereas I would be 4xing if this was 2 green tags in the blinds. I would just be 4xing all of my opens. If I'm at a table with no regulars whatsoever, then 4x becomes my standard open. If there's regulars at the table and they are still to act, then I default to 3x. This table looks like it could break at any given moment. Let's see if there's anything to replace it with. Nope, sadly not at the moment. So we're going to hope this one survives the famine of players. Not c-betting the king queen on the 686. Probably just going to end up losing to ace high, a decent frequency here, but I don't like setting off bluffing on these types of boards out of position against players who I have tagged as recreational. A, we don't improve enough. B, they don't fold enough. So those two things combined, in my opinion, makes that a bad spot to just start firing off c-bets with. Just king high. 5-6 suited. I'd like to play the hand, but not from middle position. On the button there, we'd flat with a probably 100% frequency. I hope our opponent bets big again here. It doesn't, unfortunately. So now we have to raise. I'd rather just go and check call there versus big bets, but he didn't go big, so we're going to have to try and put some more money in ourselves. Not going to go with the big ISO this time because this guy A doesn't fold very much and B doesn't have many chips. So we're just going to check and then start betting. So we complete and then start betting when we improve. This guy's gone with him in 3-bet, which is not something you want to be making a habit of from the small blind. We've flopped a pair and now he's gone half pot. Pretty easy call. And now he's gone big here. Now last time he sized down, didn't he? He like bet big then sized down. This time he's 3-betters gone big. So we're going to just let the bottom pair go, even though we pick up a good shot. We already had a good shot, so we didn't pick one up. So fucking shoot your cake or Reg. We've been 3-bet and we are going to fold a small pair. I'm going to make a big old raise up here. Make a normal size raise here. Fold this. We're going to make it 6x versus the button limp here. This table's going to break. I just know it. It's unfortunate, but what can you do? This guy's 3-bets again. This time we've got another player coming on the button. It kind of tempts me to call a little bit, but we just got 10-8, so we're not going to. I should have bet there. I was too busy contemplating this hand. I was going to bet 3/4 pot as a panic, Now we're not panicking. We're just going to bet £1. We get mint raised to £2, which is not at all fun. I mean, we're just going to call here and hope that it never goes check, but deep down know that it fucking isn't going to go check. Although we now just have gone ahead of ace-5 and ace-9, which is going to make it harder for me to fold because a lot of his hands on the turn that are good are going to be 2 pairs. So I don't think the 10 helps him here much. I'm going to call this, I think. Because like the 10, it shouldn't be raising 10x on the turn. I think his turn raising range is going to be a lot of like ace-5, ace-9, things like that. So when the 10 pairs, it just doesn't make sense that all of a sudden he wants to like min raise a turn, then he wants to overbet shove the river on the 10. I mean, obviously, if he's improved to a full house with ace-10, that wants to do that. But I think overall, that wasn't really a good card for him to do that on. As anyone who's watched a lot of my videos will know, I absolutely despise paying off. It's just not my thing. But when something like that happens, it just doesn't make sense. And you know, sometimes you've got to buckle up and go with it. And I mean, his turn raise made no sense. His river shove made no sense. But that's why we play these games, because players are out there doing some crazy shit that makes no sense. And long term, those are the guys that we are going to expect to make most of our money from. Go with a very large bluff here, or a pretty large bluff. After this checks through twice, we are not going to bet this river against Abo. We're just going to let him win the pot. Woohoo! I've just clicked over to the 500 point mark. I mean, it's only Thursday. That is showing how much I'm grinding this week. Normally, I don't tick over the 500 point mark until sometime on Saturday. So the fact I've done it in 3 and a bit days shows I've put a bit more effort into my grind this week. I'm very annoyed with myself because I didn't realise they were running a promotion for the SPT, where if you gain 100 points a day, you get tickets for free seats into the SPT. And apparently they're giving 200 tickets away over the month. So you've got a reasonable chance of winning one, but only if you fucking opt in. And of course, because I'm a fucking idiot, I didn't opt in until I was speaking to my very good friend Simon earlier, who made me aware of the promotion. So yeah, a little bit annoyed with myself that I've lost 3 days of potential tickets in a raffle. Well, not 3 days of potential tickets. I've actually lost 3 days worth of tickets into a raffle, but 3 more weeks to win one, so we'll try our best. I need to find out if you have to opt in every week, or if opting in now makes sure I'm opted in for the following 3 weeks of the promotion. But hopefully just bink one this week off half volume style points, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Here against a big blind, it's never a c bet for me. Here with the king 10 on the bottom table, we think we just keep betting until we get raised, and then we get a little bit sad. Easy fold here, blocking this river. The 8-7's got, there's lots of things get there that beat us here, so we're just going to go with like a 1/3-ish block bet. And we lose to a slightly better hand, which is fair enough. Tapazuki's gone with a smaller open this time. Don't know what that means, but we are going to just try and... Don't want to flat here and then just get squeezed by someone behind. Excuse me, that was a noisy one. That was a noisy one. I make no apologies for that, though. Yeah, so we're going to go with the. I should really know what this player's sizing tells mean, but I haven't played with him for quite a while on a long-term basis, so the notes I do have are very likely to be out of date against him. Looking forward to listening to that fart back. I hope it comes through on video as well as it came through my ring piece. If Alton, if you are still watching, I promise not to fart on your videos for your website. You have my word on that. No idea what's going on here because we're too busy talking about farting, but we're going to call because we're getting 1,000,000 to 1. And there we go. Just type in the time of the fart into the video so I can go back and listen to it. Because I am that fucking childish. King Jack offsuit. Feels like a hand we could 3-bet, but there's just no real reason to start with those shenanigans in these games, so I'm not going to do it. Hugo Mahana. That note, I can already tell you what that note says on him. He's someone who will sometimes try and sit heads up at higher stakes, like 20-0, 30-0. He'll sit with like the min buy-in, and then he'll double up and run away. So I just refuse to give him action, even though I think I have an edge on him heads up. I just refuse to play him, and whenever he sits me, I explain to him that I'm not playing him because I do not like his strategy. So we're going to be rooting against Hugo here. Go Barney, go Barney, go Barney, go Barney. I think Hugo has a queen here a lot, and Barney has who knows what. Okay, so Hugo didn't have a queen. If he did, it was a very rubbish one. So I guess it must have been. If it wasn't a queen, it has to be strong jack, surely. Yeah, decent jack. Don't like it. Bet calling raises multi-way with middle pair, and then paying off 2 streets. It's not really what you want to be doing. That's not a ticket to a positive win rate. As you can see, I'm always just tagging players that are coming with no tag available. I mean, the minute I think they like this player here now, he's not reloading. So we're going with the green tag. He might end up being someone who's recreational but tight, so his tag would change. But for the time being, we're just tagging as like probably someone who plays more for recreation than to actually try and make a side income from the game. Interesting flop here. I think we're gonna check and then try and put lots of money in whilst we like our equity. So here's the problem here now. This guy isn't folding. So when we go all in or when we raise, he's not folding. So we need to get there. But there's 271 in the pot. So there's already some like, it's not dead money, but there is money to fight over. So, if we think we've got around 40%, well, fuck, we didn't want him having the flush draw, did we? That's what we didn't want to see, but because we are golden, we get there. So the point I was trying to make there is that there was already like £2.40, whatever there was, £2.40 in the pot. So even though his money's not dead, assuming that against his range we have around 35 to 40% equity, then it's just profitable to just go with our hand. We don't lose money by doing what we did there. We don't make a lot of money either, probably, because he's obviously committed and he clearly has a better hand than us. We have a 9 high when all said and done. But I think overall, the spot still makes money because we have over 40% equity in a pot that's already got £2.40 in it. That's laying us a decent price. I'm going to stab very small here with the. Oh, that's an all in, is it? So all in, is it? We'll give you a spin. We're probably getting a good price. I was going to bet here, but then we didn't because it was too busy with the 8-7, and he wins. I run so fucking bad. I don't care that we just won with the fucking dominated flush draw down here. We got it in with Jack High versus 8 high and fucking lost. And we just keep timing out down here. And now we're just going to pay him off and we play this on like an absolute twat. But we might get to win because we have the nothing. Happy fucking days. Happy fucking days. Play a hand as badly as you can and then win anyway. That's how we do it. That is clearly not a particularly exciting turn card. But we're going to bet anyway. And if he's floated us with an ace, or if he's got like an ace-5, ace-6, then you're getting the money, Barney. You are getting it. And check call here with our 10-8 on this table. I think we're still checking. I don't think we're betting yet. I think we can bet the river if it checks through again and the river's safe. But I don't think we're betting yet. Now we are betting, but we're just betting the absolute minimum. Just hopefully get paid by a 5 or a 3. We get mid-raised and called. Oh, dear me. Right, whatever. Just get out of there, Reggie. Ace-6. Fair dues. Fair enough, sir. You win. You fucking win. Nice hand. Deuces. Min raise. We are off on the set line. More examples of how fucking terribly I run. Now we're playing heads up against someone who thinks some kind of regular, and I cannot be asked to do that on video. I wouldn't be doing this if I'd just closed the table. As we don't have another table. All right. Okay, now we can just play again. As we don't have another table to play, I was just going to leave it there. So, for the aesthetics, but someone's come and sat straight away, so it's all good. Is this dog's ass coming to this one? No, it's not. It's Bardsley who's decided he didn't want to play one-on-one, which is fine. I get that. I don't particularly want to play one-on-one either. Is there another table? Spin-up table. Rather put fucking pins in my eyes than do that. Nope. There is no other table, so we're only going to be playing for another 10 minutes or so anyway, so we'll just leave it as it is. If someone turns up and sits, great. If they don't, then we're just 3-tabling. We can live with that. I don't think our 9 is strong enough to lead on this board. I think we're just going to let it go. I mean, we have top pair, so like, we're just pretty tight four, but there's a whole plethora of cards we do not want to see on the turn. Ironically, that would have been the absolute best turn card in the deck for us, but yeah. And no problem folding top pair, no kicker on a wet board when it's gone bet call, because that equity is just going to be pretty fucking salty. We're not going to get to showdown that often. I mean, obviously we would have on that occasion because we turned the two pairs, but yeah, I couldn't see many good things in the future of my 9-3 there, so I decided to just let it die. Not always an open under the gun this, but at a table with 3 green tags, it certainly is for me. Go with the big old ISO with the ace jack going to 11x, given every man and his dog wants a piece of the flop, or they want to try and see a cheap flop. Happy to take it down. Pick up a gut shot here. Ferret checks. I was going to maybe overbet, but now we're not going to. Min raise, call. Go on then. We'll have a little look. We'll have a little look, see. And we've been called with the 10 jack, and we get turn that I'm not particularly enamoured by. I'm just going to keep checking and hope to win. Expect to lose. I'm going to see a bit small. This is a spot where against a fish or a recreational player I would not be betting, but I'm going to bet my perceived range advantage against a regular. He does go with the check raise, and we do have some backdoor stuff going on, but don't really care. Nuts here on the turn. I expect our opponent's going to fold, but I'm going to make a very large bet just in case he doesn't. And he does. Given I think our opponent's quite passive, we're just going to start leading out when we hit bits and pieces of flops, rather than just allow him to outdraw us for free when we do have the best hand. Not in love with that river, but I think we can still value bet and fold to a raise. And now this table is just three-handed. So this video might not run as long as my usual videos because heads up at one table, probably going to be heads up at another table. I think we might just knock it on the head. Playing heads up at two 10NL tables and having another 10NL table isn't really the content that I want to be making. So yes, I think we will call it a session. Hope you enjoyed the wind. I certainly enjoyed delivering it to you. I'm certainly going to look forward to listening back to it. Don't enjoy getting min 3-bet when I've got an ace and a 6 offsuit, but clearly we're not going to fold it. And as soon as we get a chance to end the video, we will. In fact, we'll just do a bit of sitting out so then we don't keep getting caught in situations. He's gone with the min 3-bet again. He's having the time of his life. Is he going to go with the 10 pence again? No, he doesn't come with the 10p. We're not going to bet. I think we're good. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to end up paying this guy off here, I expect. And we don't pay him off, we just win. And now he's going to think I'm a cunt because I'm sitting out when he's got 40 pence left. But that was always the plan, so apologies, sir. And there we go. That is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We made some money again, which is nice. Nice to start making videos again where we're actually winning money. Take care, everybody. We'll be back with another video on Monday. Not before then, I wouldn't have thought. Have a fantastic weekend. If you're playing poker, I hope it goes well for you. Well, if it doesn't, I'm not going to lose much sleep over it, of course. But yeah, I hope you enjoy your poker at the weekend. I can definitely say that and say it sincerely. Take care, everybody. Enjoy yourselves at the weekend. And goodbye for now.